series continues its Halloween tradition with now the 6th installment to the insanely gory franchise. I just recently got involved with this series. I think I saw the very first film for the first time this summer, and I continuously watch all the films. Now, seeing the 6th one, I've seen every single one. And, you know, why not? I give you a little retrospective of what I think of the series. The first one, I love the first one. It's a lot different from all the other ones. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's a lot more psychological thriller, a lot more intelligent than I think the series eventually turned into. I think there was a lot more to it. I think it was very complex and really, really interesting. It wasn't just pointless gore. Second one, okay. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I remember thinking it was just pretty stupid. I just couldn't really get over the scene where the girl just goes up to the thing and sees the little syringe and just sticks her hands right through it and are so surprised when she gets trapped. The third one, I thought the third one was pretty creative with the traps. I liked it for the most part. I thought the end, it got pretty jumbled and didn't really well balance all the things that were going on, but the ending plot twist is really good, so I liked the third one. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. The fourth one was crap. A lot of people always call this franchise just pointless gore, torture porn, and I think this one is the one that best fits that definition. Really, it was they just really went insane with it, just as violent as possible, and just non-stop traps, and it was just dumb. There was really no story holding it all together. Now, the fifth one is really interesting. The fifth one might be one of the worst films I've ever seen that I recommend. It is so light. It is so disposable. It is so unsatisfying. The story is so little. Yet, I think this director maintained a very good tone. And the story that he had, I thought he executed it very well with awesome flashback sequences. But it just progresses the overall story so little. And it's just so unsatisfying. But I thought it was well done for the most part. It was just so light. And that was a problem. But I'd still give it a 7 out of 10. I think for the most part it did it right. It just did so little. And I wanted this director to get his hands on a better story and do the next film. But a different director did this one. But someone said that the director of the fifth one is going to do the seventh one, which could be interesting. But maybe I want the director of this new sixth one to do the seventh one, because this new one is awesome! After the first one, I didn't know if there was going to be another great Saw film, but there is. This one is definitely the second best, at least. You know, it might be better than the first one, I don't know, but right now I would say that it's not quite as good as the first one, but this is a really good film. This is the one that the fans have been waiting for. All the upset fans, a lot of fans just say that the first one was really good, but that's it. This one truly will please them. I don't think it's going to make many converts. This review is for people that have at least liked one of the Saw films, and if you don't like these kind of films, you're just not going to like it. You know, it's an acquired taste. And what I like about the fifth one is that it goes back to the other films, you know, wraps some things up, answers some questions. This one does a lot of that. It goes all the way back to like the third film. And, you know, really, this movie is just exactly what you would want from a Saw film. You want it to be fun, you want it to be engaging, you want it to be exciting, you want it to be intense, and that's exactly what it does. It does have a decent story. You know, these traps can be interesting and creative, but I think it's a lot better when the situations that the characters in are morally complex and, like, test their morality. And there's some scenes in this movie with the traps that are actually pretty emotionally effective. You know, with all these films, some of the dialogue and some of the acting really isn't the best. The actress in the opening scene, the one that chops her arm off, she's the contestant that won Scream Queens, that dumb reality show that they had, and the winner would be in Saw 6. Yeah, she was horrible. Other than that, you know, there's a kid in the movie that didn't do very good either. But, you know, oh well, you really can't expect great acting from these movies, except for Tobin Bell, of course. Tobin Bell is awesome as Jigsaw. I love how, although he was killed off in the third one, he still spends like equal screen time in all the movies. Oh my gosh, this movie sounds awesome, but you haven't seen the other ones. I don't know, I don't think you'd be completely lost, but just watch the other ones. Or, I don't know, some of the ones are just so pointless to the story that sounds weird to say. Maybe watch 3 and 5. I don't know. This new one basically just like has to do with like 3 and 5. Basically. It seemed like now in the story, 1 and 2 absolutely are, it has nothing to do with it anymore. This new one basically just deals with the characters that were introduced in like 3, 4, and 5. But anyway, don't give up on the series. Just believe this is a really, really good film. And, you know, I'm pretty convinced it's going to please at least most fans of the series. and just most people in general. So, you know, if you're one of the people that have really just given up on this series, check this one out, give it a chance, because I really do think they did a good job with it. A lot better than all the other Saw films except for the first one. Really no reason to think that in advance, because, you know, really not that all that many critics reviewed it, but it did get pretty good reviews for the most part on the critics that did see it, and they agree with me that, you know, it's not going to make many converts, but, you know, for fans of the franchise, you know, you're going to love it. Never really show that many trailers, like just one teaser trailer, because these movies are so violent, they can't even give a theatrical trailer. Now, all the films really aren't all that different from each other. There was one trap in particular in this movie that I thought was way too similar. I thought I'd seen, like, the same thing before in another film. But this movie has a good backstory behind it. You know, all the flashbacks, they don't, like, bring in completely new characters. You know, they try to build it, which is good, from the past films to make it more evolving and effective. And like I said, this movie does have emotion behind it. The tests just aren't, like, for the most part at least, aren't just pointless violence. They do have somewhat intelligence and cleverness behind them. It's not a perfect film. Some of it is a wee bit stupid, but, you know, it's a lot better than I think a lot of people are going to expect. I didn't think it was going to be this good, but I heard a lot of good things about it. I wasn't planning on seeing it because, you know, I'm not 17. In order to get into R-rated movies, I usually just go with my dad, but I'm not seeing this with my dad. I bought a ticket for Astro Boy and accidentally happened to walk into the theater of Saw 6 on accident. And I'm like, you know what, I might as well just stay. So yeah, Saw 6 is a really good movie. It's a very good movie. You know, this Halloween weekend, if you like these kind of movies, definitely check it out. I would definitely, big recommendation for this movie. I think it's a great film. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Oh boy.